Hello, Fabulous Scorpio. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of August 2018, looking at life and love. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. What an amazing month it is. We have an important sky, especially as we start this month. We are still in eclipse season. Now, if you remember from the video last month, I talked about how we had this extended eclipse season playing out right now. 2 eclipses last month, and now a third and final as part of this series. The eclipse this month will take place right around the 11th of the month, give or take a day on either side, depending on where you are on the planet. And this is a powerful solar eclipse, hand in hand with Mercury and speaking with Jupiter in your sign. Now, what makes it especially important for you is that this eclipse is happening at the very top of your sky, which is considered a sensitive point of the chart because it is a point that ultimately speaks to all it is that we aspire to and where it is that we hope to leave a legacy, and where it is and how it is that sometimes the universe, when activating this part of the sky, will align us with that legacy and align us with what I consider a more loving and more wise vision for your life. I also think of this as very karmic. That is what nodes being activated with the eclipses, that's ultimately what they awaken within us, a more karmic path being unveiled. And so it is for you now. This eclipse happening close to Mercury in the sky. Well, Mercury is retrograde. Okay, Mercury started going retrograde last month, and we're in Mercury retrograde season still right until the very beginning of next month. And that is going to play a key factor in this eclipse. And you add to it, this eclipse is speaking with Jupiter in your sign, making it that much more personal. So this is a part of the sky that has to do with things like career, social standing, life purpose, your understanding of your life purpose and being aligned with it. Normally, eclipses like to come by surprise. This eclipse is a little bit different because of that Mercury connection. What it tells me is that what transpires now very likely isn't going to be something that just comes out of the blue. Chances are the conversations, or at least a sense of things changing or wanting them to change, the connections that allow the change to transpire, well, they've already been in the works. They've been in the works since last month, and here we are. And because Mercury is retrograde, and it is going to be about 2 weeks after the eclipse that Mercury will come back around and move over the eclipse point, what that tells me is that there's a sense now of whatever transpiring won't be isolated to just 1 or 2 days. It won't be isolated to just the specific eclipse moment, but rather will characterize much of this month. This is new opportunity. This is a chance for you to feel like you are stepping into a bolder future for yourself and a future of more opportunity as well. That Jupiter connection with Jupiter in your sign is telling me that along the way and with the new, very likely will come the chance to look at some of your own fears, to look at where it is that you want to really have a lot of optimism and you really want to believe, and at the same time there may be questions about yourself and about your readiness and about whether or not this is going to be that big thing, that big opportunity. Well, the thing is, every opportunity is what it needs to be at any given moment. It's almost as if I'm seeing you kind of psych yourself up and psych yourself out even a little bit. And really, when I think about your sign, it really shines at its best when it is connected to a core of consistency. And that ultimately is found within you. That part of you that is committed to being authentic and living your life in that way. That may very well be awakened for you now in some way as well. Is this opportunity or these opportunities coming up aligning with an authentic vision for my life? Well, the great thing is that when it's an eclipse, it is. In some way, as part of the mystery, it is going to help you to realize more of your truest self and your most authentic self as you go out into the world and as you become known for more of the world as well. So if it is, an interview situation, an audition situation, these are the types of things that can come up. Promotions can come up as well. And opportunities for you to get in touch with what it is that you really want to do and how it is that you want to advance yourself and what goals you think are worthy of achieving. How is it that you define success? A redefinition may come up but a reconsideration as part of this redefinition may very well show up for you as well. Now, where I really think most of the action is happening this month is actually later on. So the eclipse happens, eclipse season ends. But as I said, Mercury is going to be retro and is going to come back around. So there are a bunch of things happening on the 26th. There is a full moon. There is Mars going direct. There is Mercury returning to the eclipse point. Now forward, wrapping up Mercury retrograde season, and yet being over that eclipse point for the final time. And we have a very interesting conversation between Pluto, your modern ruling planet, and Venus. Well, you put this all together, and it does suggest that the events surrounding the full moon later in the month are really when it's going to feel like a lot has come together, not only in light of the energy of that full moon, but also larger energies, making sense of this eclipse season, making sense of the earlier eclipse this month, and Mars retrograde season as well, a real turning point in that, like literally with Mars changing directions. So let's start with that full moon. This full moon is in a very romantic part of your sky, and it's a beautifully aspected full moon. It is speaking in harmony with Saturn, speaking in harmony with Uranus. I just love this energy. I think that it is dreamy, it is romantic, and for you in particular, the romance, the flirtation, the fun is that much higher. But there's also an energy here that's very stabilizing, an energy here that's very liberating, that's about you feeling that you are moving towards a more secure future, but a future nonetheless. And that includes in matters of love. In fact, I'm seeing a lot of love around this full moon, and I think that you will like that very much. If you're open to meeting someone new, wonderful opportunities to enjoy yourself and to have fun may very well show up for you. There is also something to be said here for allowing joy to facilitate greater love in your life. And so you may very well be one of the signs out there who feels very caught up in a moment, but at the same time, it isn't that you're losing yourself in that moment. You're grounded nonetheless and enjoying yourself. That really is key here to welcoming in more love. If you are someone who is in an established bond, then this can be very exhilarating as well. With Uranus right now in your opposite sign, speaking to this full moon, it does suggest that your heart and your partnership are very much together at this time, and you're feeling that much more elated. But it's not just about that, right? This is a very fertile energy as well. It's a very creative energy, and that you can tap into to your advantage, especially if it is that you are using your creativity in some way for your career aims. Because with Mercury coming back to the eclipse point at this time, there will be further conversations that help you to bring out what it is that the eclipse is meant to be about for you, to welcome in new opportunities that align with your unique definition of success. And if your unique definition of success includes a creative energy, includes your creativity and your creations, then that's where you've got that many more blessings to make that come about for you. There's another element to this. As I said, with Mars going forward, Mars is going forward. At the same time, Pluto and Venus are speaking to each other, and Venus will be in the sign just before yours. I feel like this is going to be a big moment for you personally, in terms of your own energy and your own understanding, but also in terms of your understanding of what it is that you have to say. What is it that you're ready to talk about? Whom is it that you're ready to have that conversation with? For those of you who feel like there's a conversation that's long overdue, perhaps a particularly passionate conversation, well, that opportunity to bring that forward may very well come about now. And it could be at this time that you learn of something, possibly through a sibling, a cousin, or a neighbor. It may or may not be love related. It may or may not have anything to do with you directly. And yet it seems to awaken a sense of urgency within you. And it awakens your passions as well. And so it could be that one of these people in particular, you've got something to say to them. Something transpires, you learn something, whether it is that you just want to get it off your chest and share it with them, or whether it is directly related to them. This ultimately is going to help you to clear the air and to understand ultimately the great lesson of Mars retrograde season, which is to know your power and to know where it is that you have power. By being able to acknowledge where you have power and where you don't, That is where true empowerment is, because that allows you to then focus on where it is that you actually can exercise some measure of control to the best of your ability while practicing self-acceptance and accepting where you are right now. Whatever's transpiring externally, ultimately that is the spiritual lesson that you are being returned to. What I love about this month for you, well, look, there's a lot going on, but I must say, as we get to that accelerated energy late in the month, I think that really is when there is going to be a greater sense of life and a greater sense of clarity and a greater faith as well. Ultimately, this full moon is happening in the sign of Pisces. That is one of faith, and that is overriding all these other energies that I spoke about late in the month. And that to me says that something within you is connected to Source. Something within you knows that you can trust your heart and that it'll lead you in a positive direction. And that is a direction not only of your learning, but your joy as well. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this each and every week by logging on to astrofabulous.com or nadiyashah.com. Sign up to be one of my superstars. Superstars get expanded, exclusive video scopes each and every week, unlimited access to special horoscopes, and so much more. All of this in the superstar space. I look forward to meeting you there. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.